Hello, everybody. Oh my goodness, it's so nice to be here live with you again. Been a couple weeks that I had to take off. Today's topic, I'm going to jump in right away and let you know what it is, then we'll chat for a little bit. But today's topic is how guidance from the spirit world, from your own higher self, can be right here. Hello, everybody. And yet we can miss it. Oh, how funny. I just showed up on my own phone. Be quiet, Suzanne. Anyway, so glad to have you join me again. I want to let you know that I wasn't here for 2 weeks because I had a little cancerous lesion removed on my face. It's only 2 weeks post-surgery, having a great big hole cut right here, and it's amazing. The doctor is astounded at the healing, and I know it's from all the good energy that so many of you sent my way. First day without any bandage at all, just put some makeup over that. And if you don't look too closely, you can't see little lumps and bumps that will go away over time. A little bit more swelling over here than over there, but I don't care. It's healed, and it just is wonderful to have that behind me and to have felt the love from all of you. So thank you so much for that. So today's topic, again, is about how guidance comes to us all the time, but so many people expect it to be like this loud booming voice in our head, or well, let's just use the term a lightning bolt. A lightning bolt is very significant on my spiritual path. We don't need to go into that now, but spiritual guidance isn't always like that. So what I'm going to do is going to talk just a few minutes about how guidance comes through, and then we'll bring some of you on screen live, as we are definitely recording this live, and you can ask questions about this topic, and then we'll have what we call the wild card moment. Wow, I haven't even thought about that. And Spirit just said, well, that's the point. You're not supposed to think about it. We're supposed to just see how this unfolds. It'll either be a guided meditation or a practice or channeled message. I just heard that is most likely. So I have to tell you that this path of trusting spirit is kind of like this, right? Trusting that spirit is here guiding us and that the guidance is here when we want it. I never knew to tune into spiritual guidance for half of my life. I didn't anyway. When I was in my Navy career, it was all about the facts and what you could sense with your physical senses. And then after my stepdaughter was struck and killed by a bolt of lightning, I learned that there's a whole other way we can sense guidance that is available to all of us. I've been not only dealing with the Mohs surgery, but a case of a little bronchial infection for the last 2 weeks. So I hadn't been doing any readings connecting people with their loved ones, but I had scheduled one for, was it 2 days ago? And I didn't want to cancel it because I knew it was for a family who has a child across the veil. And I kept tuning into my body and to spirit to say, can I do this? Is my field coherent enough? And I got the thumbs up. And I just wanted to share this, that they sat here behind me and just completely trusting spirit, because I didn't feel anything till we got started. I asked their son to step in, and oh my goodness, it was like this wave of energy or a breeze of energy just flowed right through me. And it's a familiar sensation to me now, but I don't feel it every time I make a connection. And it was just like, whoa, he's right here. And we were off and running. I'll be sharing the evidence from that in the future in various ways, because his family was thrilled to hear from him and they've given me permission to share. But let's start with that one right there, that the guidance is here because there's nowhere else for spirit to be. Spirit is consciousness, awareness, and you are that. And when we can quiet the mind just a bit and come into a coherent state, make pauses to tune into the body and to what is arising in awareness and in sensation, that's when we can sense the guidance. But I've put together a list of the other times, and I'm going to go through that list, and I'm going to put it on the screen so that, number one, I don't forget them, but number two, you'll have it right here and for a brief 10, 15-minute discussion of how the guidance from spirit comes. so that you may have been missing it, but now you'll know, oh, I've been there. That's what we're talking about, spirit guidance, absolutely. And how to go there and get that guidance in the future. So let me come and find my first little note here. Here we go. So, how does the guidance from higher consciousness, the greater reality, from outside our own localized mind come? Here's the first one. How often have you ever had a thought that just won't leave you alone, right? It just keeps coming back and coming back. I can see your guides across the veil going, hey, I'm trying to get through to you. Pay attention. There's a reason this thought keeps coming up. So that one's pretty obvious, but the challenge, my guides want me to tell you right now, because I'm tuned into them, is that we think our thoughts are all our own. But when you realize that you are one localized field of consciousness within a greater infinite field, or put another way, one wave of awareness within the entire sea of awareness, then you understand how it's easy to pick up on a thought that may be coming from a loved one across the veil or from your guides and not give them credit and not pay attention to that. So the fact that a thought comes back again and again, pay attention, and that's when you pause and don't just wonder why it's coming up. Shift to the awareness that you're more than just your own thoughts and ask deliberately of whoever is putting that thought in your consciousness, why does this keep coming up? And then listen. So that's a really great practice. Next one, a sudden sense of knowing what to do next, even if it doesn't make logical sense. And this is the challenge for so many of our community here, our Awake and Wake community. We're left brain people, right? I was a Navy officer for 20 years. We have so many people that are very much relying on logic, and that's great. It helps us very much in our human stories and operating in human bodies. However, there's a part of our brain, the right brain, that is in flow with the greater field of consciousness at all times, all times. And it's not always logical because it doesn't necessarily follow linear consciousness, A, B, C. Thoughts just arise. There's a knowing that comes with that. Follow that, but only if it's not going to be harmful to you or someone else, okay? So it doesn't need to make logical sense, but please make sure it feels safe and right. We'll get into the feeling aspect of this later. But our topic today is that the guidance is always here because we are always immersed in the sea of consciousness. We're not just human. We're not only restricted human awareness. We are also souls, and those souls are also oversouls, and the oversouls are the one self itself. That knowing about this flow of consciousness hopefully is opening you up to the fact that the answers you seek are available, especially when they serve the greater good. So next way you can sense guidance coming to you, repeated themes, symbols, words, songs, conversations. I'm sure there are more, but this is all that I've put up there for now. But pay attention when something keeps popping up in awareness, not just thoughts, but these types of things. There's a reason that they're snagging your attention. I'm not going to get into snags today because I really want to talk with all of you. We'll be bringing some of you on here onto the screen live soon. But go on, let's see. Oh, let me take a break here real quick and tell you, I have a whole new website. It's the same address, SuzanneGiesemann.com, but it's been refreshed so that you can find all the resources much more easily. And if you go to the pull-down menu called Search, go to Search, you'll see there's a way to search all my videos way more deliberately than just going to YouTube. And you can enter in a keyword. So why I'm bringing this up now is enter in the word snags in that video search on my website. And it's going to bring up my exact video about snags as a way of noticing how spirit gets your attention by snagging you with something. And then you pull the thread by, again, asking, Why did that symbol, why did that word, why did that song or that conversation snag my attention? It's a really great practice. And when you allow spirit to catch your attention with themes that repeat just like this, you'll notice how you're being guided. It's a wondrous way to live rather than thinking I have to do this all myself. I'm on my own. Does anybody care about me? Oh, are you so very loved and cared for? So pay attention to these things we're sharing here, and you will start to really get in the flow with your guides, angels, loved ones who are trying to help you. This is the way that we give form to those in spirit. We talk about guides and angels. That sounds silly to people who are new on the path. These are constructs of consciousness, just like you are. So, whatever name you give to these fields of information and awareness that are sentient and intelligent and interactive, whatever works for you, use it. Okay? It's going to make your life much easier. Such as, here's the next one to way to know that guidance is always here. You'll find doors, this is a metaphor, doors opening really easy. Life is flowing for you when you follow these inner nudges. On the contrary, when you're not following that guidance, even if you don't know that you're being guided, you notice that working your way through life or just any project at all feels forced or heavy. So, how's life flowing for you right now as a whole? And now I have two doves on a branch out here. There's always some little animal phenomena during this show, and we have two doves looking at us. So, that's beautiful. Anyway, is it flowing or with specific projects? Are you hitting a wall? That's the way that higher guidance often comes. Pay attention to the ease or difficulty. And again, what do? Stop, breathe to become coherent and relaxed and open, and ask higher consciousness. Even if you don't sense a being, higher consciousness is your true nature, is consciousness. Simply pause and say, why am I hitting a wall? Or thank you for the ease with which this project is unfolding. Keep it up. And what else might help? You see, we get into a two-way conversation with higher consciousness, and boy, you will really open up more. Here's another one. You get a physical feeling in your body, expansion, relief, lightness, peace, but also constriction, tension. Notice how the body naturally goes to an open state when you are coherent and tuning in, or a restricted state. We naturally move forward, constrict, bend in when we're not tuned in. So listen to your body. It's the way that guidance comes through most viscerally, somatically. It's a beautiful barometer of your connection with spirit. I have 3 more of these. Then we'll go to all of you and see what questions you have about this. Synchronicities too meaningful to ignore. Wow. There are little synchronicities that you say, oh, that was cool that happened. And then there are really big ones that you just, like it says, can't ignore. That's like spirit hitting you over the head with a 2x4. So please don't ignore them. Write them down. Keep a list of them. Again, pause and ask if it's not known to you internally, naturally, through your intuition, why it's happening. Ask spirit, what is the meaning of that huge synchronicity? So yesterday I had a visit from my dear friends, Christy Majors, who does our podcast for us, who does all the background work, and Lisa Wilcoxon, an amazing evidential medium. I love them both. I now live a couple hours away, so they came to visit. And we got to talking, speaking of major synchronicities, that at the same time, Lisa and I both had surgery on our face, hers for a different reason, for an accident that she had, mine for the basal cell cancer. But we both had surgery. We both have half of our nose completely numb now. There were a list of things that were like, and we're dear friends, we're both evidential mediums. And several times yesterday, we both said, What's up with that? And we both asked Spirit and we didn't get an answer. So is it just a synchronicity or are our paths crossing? I just bring that up because it was really too big to ignore. We've known each other for years, and the timing, that's what happens with synchronicities, was amazing. But my point here is we didn't get an answer, and we still haven't. But we've asked the question. We paused long enough to notice it and ask. So maybe I'll have to follow up with all of you if we figure out the answer and the meaning in that. Maybe just for a teaching point here, that you don't always get the answer, but do notice them. 2 more ways to know the guidance is here. The right person, book, message, or opportunity showing up at the exact right time. Oh my gosh. Well, this is self-explanatory, but my guide said, and this is your moment. Truly, I did not plan this, but just yesterday in the mail came my first copy of my new book. Oh my gosh. So it's actually a galley copy. It doesn't have the pretty side and back like it will. So I didn't do my video. I'm telling my staff because they're like, Suzanne, you should have done the unboxing video. I didn't because this is just a proof ahead of time. But to hold the book in my hands for the first time is so cool. And I'm showing it now because look at the title. It's today's podcast, Always Connected. The subtitle, How to Find Comfort, Clarity, and Direction from the Spirit Within. Really, really pleased with how this book flowed. It models how you can learn to go within for guidance. Yes, we ask like this by looking up to Spirit. That's a nod to the fact that consciousness is higher consciousness and restricted consciousness within the body. But we don't have to go outward because the answers actually arise within. So by the way, we're having a pre-order bonanza right now. If you go to SuzanneGiesemann.com and scroll down to the highlights right on the homepage, there's a place to click because I'm offering some wonderful bonus gifts if you pre-order, and they're really, really nice. So I think you'll enjoy them. But most of all, the book is super valuable for anybody who wants to tune into guidance more clearly. That was nice. I really didn't plan to work that in. I just wanted to share it with you. So meanwhile, last way, but only on my list right now, there are other ways to know that you are always being guided. An inner nudge that says, pay attention to this. Again, that's snags. Lisa and Christy were walking through my house yesterday, and they were snagged by these wooden beams. We have little pillars inside the home that are actual beams of wood. And they said, look, they're the knots of wood with the swirling patterns around them. They look like angels. I've never seen it. I've been in the house for 3 months now and didn't notice that. But once I looked, oh my gosh, surrounded by symbols of angels on the wood. They were snagged by that. Pay attention to this. I got goosebumps. How does that help me on my spiritual path? Well, it just affirms the knowing that I had when I came to this canyon where I now live. I am supposed to be here. And the knowing when the realtor showed us this house, that's my house. So now I know, it's a synchronicity to people that are still in the must live logically mindset. That would seem silly. But to me, that's a nudge that says, pay attention to what they just said. You're surrounded by angels. So when you get that inner nudge, pay attention. By all means, do so. Okay. All right. I see that I have enough people in the waiting room that I probably don't want to put up the link to bring more people in because I want to do my best to get to most of you, if not all of you. As I bring you on, quick favor, please keep your comments short and get right to the question that has to do with our topic. This isn't a time for mediumship readings. I do those privately, but love to hear you share your questions, and then I'm going to ask my guides and tune in within to get the highest answer that applies to everybody here. So this is where I bring up the little thing on screen that says, let's chat with Spirit. And the first person who's been in the waiting room the longest is Mark. Mark, give me a thumbs up if you truly want to be on screen. Yes, he says. All right, I'm learning. Okay. Mark, welcome to the show.
Oh my God, I can't believe this. This is incredible for me. I've been wanting to talk to you, and I just happened to be with the time difference in Berlin, where I'm living, in my flat, and I was going out for my usual walk every day. And then I realized, oh yeah, this is the time when she would normally have her podcast thing, and I'm not never around. And
That's a
here I
nudge,
am.
isn't it?
It
That's a nudge.
is.
You
It
follow
is. And
that.
I've learned so much on my own, plus from your podcast about the way things work. My
Yeah.
question today, I'll try and get, see this jar?
Yeah.
That's signs, as far as I know, from my mom who passed
Oh
away in
my gosh.
2020.
In a jar
It's
full.
been starting since, sorry, yes?
No, I mean,
No,
seriously,
it's
I
been
feel like
starting
that.
since 2022. I keep, sorry, go ahead.
No, it's just I don't find that many coins. Not everybody does, but those coins snagged you, and you had a knowing in your heart after your mom passed that why am I seeing all these? I'm gonna start picking them up. Now you have this huge half a jar full, and it will continue because you're noticing what's happening. I know you didn't. I didn't give you a chance to ask the question yet, but is your mom is merging consciousness with you and snagging your attention. Look down now. There's mom. Beautiful. Or turn left now instead of turning right. And there's another coin, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, what happened, she passed in 2020 during COVID, but from something else. And then I would see pennies occasionally and think nothing. My spiritual beliefs were quite neutral. I believed in something, but hadn't explored it. And I went through a lot of personal things the last couple of years with my health and alcoholism, blah, blah, blah. And I was starting to get this in 2022, maybe. I wasn't journaling things, which I do
Yeah.
now.
Mark, you
Every
know what?
day, everything.
Mark, I need to interrupt you because
Okay. Why is it happening? Why am I? Because today,
yeah.
as of yesterday, it's 119 days in a row. Before that was 1 day break and 51 days in a row. Why is it? That's extreme. I don't even know if that happens to anyone. That's really bizarre. There you
And
go.
that's
I don't know why this is.
Oh, because here you are sharing with everyone how our loved ones can really pull out all the stops. That is extreme. That's awesome. And I call that wondrous. That was your mom saying, I love my son so much. I'm going to get his attention. He needs to know I'm with him. He needs to know, literally, I don't want to embarrass you, but you need to know you don't have to turn to alcohol to fill a hole inside you. You are loved.
Oh no, that's over. That's over.
Yeah, but for those who hear this right now, right?
Right.
That hear this, that we are part of something so much greater, and here you are following the snags, picking them up. It's cumulative, and now you have this visual reminder that you're connected to something. So that's why so wondrous. You were used.
Do you believe
Okay.
it's so? I've developed things, spirit guides, and my mother, all a combination of things because I've learned about synchronicity. I'm also getting a lot of number things, hearts in my. There's a lot of stuff going on, but the pennies were just such an amazing, thing. I just couldn't believe this is happening like 119 days in a row until maybe today won't happen. I don't know, but when I go out, but
And it
it's
doesn't
just so
need to happen
incredible.
anymore. This is huge that it doesn't have to happen, and that when that run stops, that's not meaningful. That's simply, you get it now. You totally trust. You ask, do I believe? Today's message in the Awaken Way app, that's free, everybody. Today's message is about believing. And so it doesn't matter if I believe. What do you know, Mark?
Yeah. That's
Right?
absolutely true. I mean, it kept like hitting me over the head, like spirit or my mom, because I thought I can't be imagining this. And once particular time, the first early years it happened, I literally asked my mom, okay, this is real, leave a penny in front of my doorstep, in front of the door. And I came home with the next day or the day after,
Yeah.
and I went in slow motion. I saw 2 cents glittering in front of the door in the center of the door.
Oh,
No one
see.
knew, by the way, of my situation. Yeah.
These are what I call miracles, when the veil parts enough and you ask for it, you're already trusting, you're connected. So I thank Spirit for bringing you on first and foremost as this beautiful example of, you can think this is crazy, but this is the way it happens. Not always in such a wondrous way for other people, but you, like, that's why I say you were used. These kinds of stories give people hope and activate that knowing that we all have, that these things do happen. They don't have to happen to us. It's wonderful when they do. But thank you for coming on to share that wonderful miracle. And thanks, Mom.
I love what you do. I resonate with your podcast, and I can't believe I was just at the last moment here, and then I got chosen first. It was all meant to be, as far as I'm concerned. I'm emotional, but happy emotional.
Oh, we are
Thank
all
you
there
so
with
much.
you. Thank you, Mark. Blessings
Thank
to
you
you.
so much. Love to everyone, and by the way.
Bye-bye. Oh my gosh. See, isn't that awesome? I just love this. Everybody, if you're joining us late, we're live, of course. Never know what people are going to say, but Spirit's just right here with us. Nina, I hope I'm saying Nini. You're going to tell me, give me a thumbs up if you want to come on screen. Yes, indeed. So welcome to the show. How do you say your name?
Nini.
Nini. Okay.
Yes.
Nice.
Suzanne, thank you for bringing me. I can't believe I'm on. You've helped me so much during my grief. I really, really appreciate it. So thank you so much. So my question today, you mentioned it earlier about physical sensation as a guidance. I've been doing your meditation, trying to connect. And 2 weeks ago, I had this physical sensation where energy came through the back of my head, went down my spine, came up and hit my heart, and I felt joy and love so much.
Oh,
And I was so happy, and I felt like I was connected with my loved one. But then I read, and it says it's called Kundalini arising, and I was like, what does this mean? What was it, connection with my loved one, or was it just a energy alignment? What did it mean to me? So can you please tell me?
very simple answer here. What did it mean to you? You already had the knowing, then you went and read something. And that's the very human side. You said it right there. We all heard it. You knew that was your loved one. And I know that too. And it is no coincidence that I started this program by talking about the reading I did, where for the first time in a long time, I felt that loved one flow through me. And it was exactly what you described. Kundalini is the life force energy that, if you read about it, it allegedly coils up at the base of the spine. And as you remove resistance and blockages in our system, it will rise up and balance all the chakras until we become more aware of spirit. That is a process that's been documented through years. There is a difference between Kundalini rising and when a loved one comes into such resonance with us that, oh my God, I can't deny the presence. And often that is with literally a physical feeling. And what you experienced was just what I experienced the other day. Because I said to Spirit when I first started working as a medium, I don't feel you. I need to know when somebody else's loved one steps into awareness with me, or I can't do this work. And they started making me lightheaded. And at first I thought, oh, I'm dizzy. Something's wrong with me. And then I realized that was how I personally can tell, oh, I have a drop in, or, oh, wow, this is a strong presence. It's not like that for everybody, but your loved one, in response to your commitment, your efforts, your belief, and your trust, gave you that feeling. Call it whatever you want. That was them saying, I'm right here, right?
Oh, yes, I felt the love. I felt the presence. I was so happy and I wanted to last forever. I know I'm greedy now. I wanted to have every single time, but
Yes. Well,
and I am still doing the meditation. So yeah,
but you
thank
keep
you.
it up, because just think how happy it makes them that you acknowledged right away. That's you. Thank you. I love you. I felt the love. And that love is what's going to keep that connection going. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Suzanne.
You are welcome. Excuse me. So I want to tell you about the website, SuzanneGiesemann.com, the way we've revised it. Thank you, John Tinoco, J.S. Mitha, Meredith Ortiz Harris. This team worked so beautifully, and everybody else on my team pitching in. I could name everybody, but they're the three main ones. John saw a beautiful way to make it easy for wherever you are on your path to find the resources you need. So we've determined there are 3 ways that people come to my work, to the Awakened Way and the Awakened Way community. And so right on the homepage, under the highlights, you'll see the 3 areas that can help you determine where to start. And those are, just like Nini that you just saw, those in grief and seeking relief and hope. That's one path. The second one is those on the spiritual path, just want to continue opening more and more to spirit and higher guidance. And the third is those interested in mediumship. Pretty much that's our community. So where do you fit in there? Maybe all 3. So go down those lovely rabbit holes and we give you suggestions of where to go next. There's all kinds of gifts on the webpage. So again, please check it out. And my gratitude to the team that put it together. All right, next up, we have Julie Marie. Do you want to come on screen? Yes, you do. I know you.
Hi there. Hi, Suzanne.
Good to see you.
Okay, I have a tough question. Okay, your recent talk about why seers can't always see challenged my trust in guidance. And it left me a little bit discouraged, like the wind got knocked out of my sails. So how can we trust with those limitations and regain confidence in our connection?
Okay, I have a new course online. It's called Why Can't We Find Them? Why Can't We See Them? It's on my courses. And it really brought a lot of realism to the fact that information in the field gets compressed as it comes through our nervous system. And that if we're not in a completely coherent state, it can get distorted. And there are some people that have actually done harm by sharing information that wasn't true. I give a very profound experience in that workshop. I understand your discouragement. I had a really, Spirit says, go ahead and go there. I had a very eye-opening experience probably 12 years ago in a reading where I was sure I was connecting with my client's loved one. And he kept saying yes, yes, yes to what I was giving him. And at the end, he said, this was hard. You didn't have my loved one at all. I was testing you. I said yes to everything. And I went, how could that be? I truly felt I was connected. It was an eye-opener for me. It was one of those moments where I just wanted to hang it up and say, I shouldn't be doing this work. But it caused me to go back to ground zero and say, how can we be sure? And we can't be completely sure ever when we're in these bodies because our nervous system, again, is compressing the information and our left brain can tell stories. That awareness alone will cause us to do everything in our ability to be as sure as we can and make sure we pass information along in a way that says, I can't be absolutely positive, but this is what I'm sensing and this is why. And tell Spirit, I don't want to do this work unless you give me absolute evidence that first can confirm that the loved one is here or that this information is trustworthy. And then the messages that follow come with that same feeling. So from that day, I learned that I still need to trust the recipient here, that they're going to give me an honest answer, but I don't have to rely on them. What I've learned from my beautiful mentor, Mavis Patilla, trust the spirit, not the sitter. So you learn to trust yourself, and that's why evidence is so important to me. But sometimes you won't get evidence until after you share it because the sitter may not even know until later. So I can understand why that knocked you for a loop, but you really have to know what you know in your heart, only share information that's not potentially harmful, and do your best to continue working with spirit to say, let's make sure that we continue to share information that's true and trustworthy. Does that help at all?
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
Thank
And
you.
your heart's in the right place. And I know you wouldn't do harm. And I know you came on because it's so important to you to get accurate information through. I have also seen people that don't realize the importance of doing what we just talked about there, and they've actually done harm. So thank goodness we're able to put this information out, and I appreciate the chance to talk about it. Okay.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Welcome. We will put in the show notes, Christy, please, a link to that course because it's really valuable information about, for example, why we can't find missing persons right away because we don't get hardcore data. That's not the way consciousness is optimized in this life. It's optimized for meaning and relationship. And that's the most helpful thing in a mediumship reading. Not this was their phone number, this is their name, first, middle, and last, but I'm here, I'm okay, and here's enough evidence through memories and personality and such that you know this is me. This is what matters, isn't it? To Nini, who I can still see in the background there. That's what she wants to know. We don't need her loved one's password or all that, hardcore data. That's the logical brain that needs proof. Do you feel how I go? Like you go like this, and that constriction is what makes information harder to get. When we open and trust that higher consciousness is here and it's flowing, and we'll take what we can get, and if it's evidential, that's awesome, but trust the knowing in our very being, this connection is real, then it opens up to even more wondrous experiences, which is why we're all here, for the experience. Okay, cool. Wow, if you're enjoying this and you're new, please hit the subscribe button and the notify button because we put out new content every Wednesday and hopefully live shows most Sundays. By the way, next Sunday, I'm going to be in Asheville, North Carolina, live with Lee Carroll and Monica Morani. Carol channels Cryon, I channel Sanaya. I'm so excited. This is going to be the first time I've ever channeled with another channel, both of us channeling our guides at the same time on stage, and then each of us sharing at different times throughout the weekend. There's still seats available, but I won't be able to do this live next week. I believe we're going to do a recorded brand new Q&A session. So it'll be new material, but just not live next week because I can't be here. Maybe you can be with me. Check that out under highlights on my website. But in the meantime, come on back and hit subscribe so you don't miss a show. I see Carolyn, I believe you've been on the show already. Weren't you on just last time I did a live one? Give me a thumbs up if you want to come on screen. Well, you've been waiting a while, so I'm going to honor that, bring you on, and then hopefully we'll get to 3 more people. I can see Shelly, Russell, and Shantal. I hope to get to you, okay? So Carolyn, welcome back.
Thank you very much. I don't want to be a pig, and I'll try to go quickly.
Okay.
And I'm glad that you're recovering and feeling better.
Yes.
I'm kind of confused. I don't get visuals or signs or any of that kind of thing. I get feelings. And my question is that when I was 2 years old, my grandfather on my father's side died, but I feel him so powerfully in my life.
Yeah.
And I don't fully understand that, but I think he and I and my father had the same kind of loving, giving spirit. And so maybe that's where that's coming from.
Okay. So I'm going to just cut right to the basic question that you put out there. I could feel the whole thing. Honor where you are and how you perceive. And comparing yourself with what other people get is not going to be helpful. You're already in this beautiful space that many people wish that they had this feeling and this knowing. You know your grandfather's with you, your other loved ones who have passed, you feel it. And do you know that when we no longer have these bodies, that's how we roll. That's how we operate. We don't need to see each other. We feel their light. We feel their energy, and we just know what they're trying to share with us. We still hold on to our stories and interact, but that knowing and that feeling is your true essence doing what it does best. So honor that and just roll with it. Okay?
Okay. All right. I had another question, but I don't want to hog up your time.
I want to move on to the others if you don't mind. Okay?
Not a problem. Thank you so much.
Lots of love. All right, Shelly, I can see you're in the waiting room, but I can't see you. So Man, we've been going so smoothly without a bump yet, but we're going to trust. I'm going to add you here. Can you hear me? Oh, your camera came on. There you go. Let's get rid of this one. I don't know how to get rid of that.
I don't hear you.
You don't? Well, then
You're
on. All right. Nope. Now we have 2 different people. How did that happen? Well, I'm going to have to remove Shelly. Now I have a Russell, who I saw for just a moment, and his camera went off because he probably didn't want to be on the screen. Well, we've had one of those little glitches every time, but far fewer this time. So let's move on to Shantal. Do you want to come on screen? Give me a thumbs up if you do. That's a thumbs up. Hey, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Bless you, Suzanne. It doesn't look like you had an operation. It's a miracle. It's
amazing. Thank you, Spirit. Okay.
So we talked already before by email, and you suggested me all kind of thing. I took some of your course. I practiced Sip of the Divine, the chakra balancing, and the latest, the how to heal yourself. My question is, I'm still trying to know how can I be anchored here so my body doesn't ache so much, because my body is, I suffer a lot all the time. So, and I keep trying things, but I said, what it is that I need to know. I know my mom is trying to heal me emotionally. I keep asking her, but what are you trying to do? So I'm trying to communicate with her. Sometimes I see vision.
All right. I'm going to just mute you because of scratchiness, but we'll still see you. Oh, where'd she go? Tried to mute.
I'll mute you.
I'm trying to mute you, Shantal, and your picture went out. Meanwhile, I'm going to remove you from the screen so it's not distracting, and your answer I can apply to everyone. Pain is one of the greatest challenges to connecting with Spirit, because our focus goes to the pain. And what we need to connect with Spirit is a wider lens, a wider focus, greater attention and spaciousness. There's a reason the pain is in your body. That needs to be your main focus now, to find the healing that can come spiritually, but also comes through Western and Eastern medicine. There are holistic ways of healing whatever ails us. Spirit says, keep the focus where it's being called, but also at the same time, maintain a focus on those in Spirit, trusting them to help you. In the meantime, practicing breathing deeply, breath work is very helpful, and continue as you're able, all of you, to enter into expanded, open states of consciousness, because the more you do that, the more the body relaxes, and often pain, in addition to specific elements, is a sign of guarding and tension. So any practice that any of us can do to be open will actually lessen the pain. So being aware of where our focus goes is a key. All right. I don't see anybody else in the waiting room right now except Shelly. Do you want to try again and see if we can hear? Spirit says give it a go.
Waiting room right now, except Shelly.
Can you mute whatever you're listening to? I hear myself.
How? Oh, can you hear me?
I hear you, but I also hear me.
Hear myself.
Okay. That's just.
Can you hear me?
Yes, please get us your question quickly.
I cannot hear you.
Darn, that's disappointing. Well, let's all send Shelly love, and we'll just have to see if we can get you back another time. Now, here's Russell again. Do you want to come on the show, Russell? Give me a thumbs up if you do. I don't think he can see me. So Spirit says there are a couple more people that would like to come in. If you want to come on the screen right now with, oh, Russell does want to come on. There's the code to join me backstage, but I just got Russell with a thumbs up. So we'll try 1 or 2 more questions pertaining to the guidance is always here, and then we'll go to our wild card moment. Hi, Russell.
So I think there's a bit of a lag. I've switched onto your screen now, so maybe it's better.
Yeah, you're here. Do you
All
have
right.
a question?
Great. I seem to get a fair amount of signs and guidance, but I I can't believe how difficult it is to actually follow them. Like, no matter, they can be so clear, and I will still have a really hard time, whether it's a yes or a no or do this. Mainly like booking flights to get to places where I really feel I need to be. Like I'm finding I just have to leave it right to the last minute, and then I really feel like I want to go, and then I'm rushing to go, but that kind of works for me sometimes. Or yeah, I mean, if I get guided.
At the risk of, I'm sharing this because it will be helpful to others. That a good question to ask, go within when you have time to sit quietly and ask, what might be blocked by fear? Where is fear getting in the way? And what am I afraid of happening if I act on this immediately? Okay, you don't have to answer that now, but it's something that other people too. Spirit is saying this is going to be helpful to more people than you know. But the big word that comes up like it's on a billboard for me is fear. Okay, and then the follow on in smaller letters I'm seeing is trust. Right? So it's like you need to take that first big step and act immediately, and then tune in and see. There's just this feeling of what if I don't, or what if I do, and just ask where that's coming from. And freedom is the third word there. You'll experience a sense of freedom and relief that is going to feel a little new to you, but it's going to be wondrous. Okay? Thanks for coming on. All right. Let me see where you are. All right, we have time for a couple more. Spirit says, keep going. I need my glasses to see your name, but I can see you there. Alandra, do you want to come on? Yes, you do. Okay, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm doing well. Can you hear me?
I do. We have such an international audience today. I love it.
Oh my gosh, I'm pretty shy about being on video, but I'm open to whatever wants to come in, and there's also something that I would like to share at the end.
We just have time for questions right now. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So what's your specific question about this topic about guidance always being here, but we don't always notice it?
Okay. I feel like, well, I wasn't ready for the question too. I had seen that you were live, and then I just hopped on.
Okay.
I feel like I do receive guidance right now. I'm just not quite sure where I'm being led to.
That's a good one. That's very good. If you just came on the show, you might have missed earlier in the show. I went through a whole list of how the guidance comes in. But after almost every piece of guidance I shared, I also invited people to get quiet and ask, why did that guidance come through that way? What is it I need to know? So in your case, and in so many people's case, what's really going to be helpful is not knowing where you're headed next, feeling this. I can feel you're really good at having a childlike sense of wonder, and just saying, kind of like recognizing that your soul is saying, isn't this fun? It's kind of scary not knowing where I'm going, and yet I know I'm being guided. I trust. Put that out to the universe, and the guidance will continue to flow like that. But it's the trusting, because you feel that openness, because the signs and synchronicities are coming, that allows you to know you don't have to have all the answers right now. Can you be at peace with not knowing where you're headed? The soul is. I used to be such a goal setter. Oh my gosh. And now, and people say, well, what's next for you? And I'm like, I don't know. But I trust spirit so completely. And it's so freeing, everybody, when you don't have to set goals. Goals are good, they're helpful, and they're fine. And I probably have a few. Yeah, I'm going to, I can think of some trips I'm taking. We need goals. But in the big sense, it's like I say, spirit, pull my strings. Just lead me, guide me wherever I need to go. And then you go back through that list of things. There's some emotion coming out, right? Trust is a big thing. Trust is really huge. You go back through that list and see how we really are being guided. So just trust spirit, but tell them, I'm willing to flow with you. Guide me unerringly to whatever is in my greatest and highest good. There's my lip twitch. So I know you want to share, but we're running out of time. And they just said it's time to channel. So if you don't mind, maybe you can just go to the contact page and email me what you wanted to share. And if it's really awesome, we'll bring you back on another time, or I'll share it in one of my webinars. Okay?
Okay. Thank you,
Thank you.
Suzanne.
All right. Bye-bye. All right. So Spirit says, really, we're going to channel? They just said, yes, you need practice for next week with Cryon. I don't need practice, do I? We've been doing this for a long time. So what happens, I've learned in channeling, Sanaya's been here helping me with these answers the whole time. Those of you in the back room, that's all we had time for today. So you can just sit back and enjoy with everybody else. I'm going to take a sip of water. Let me bring up what we're doing here for those who might have just joined us. This is the wild card moment. And several times we've done guided meditations. And here's Spirit, yeah. In channeling, in talking to the guides so far, I've been in a more coherent and open state than in my normal waking consciousness when I'm interacting with my husband or just doing day-to-day stuff. But to talk to all of you, anytime I teach, when I do a reading, I come into a more coherent state. Channeling is just opening up to a wider level, to more coherent level. So that's what I'm going to do with just a shift in consciousness. I may or may not close my eyes. And what happens when I drop into that state of channeling, my body automatically shifts. The neural pathways change in such a way that my voice changes, my mannerisms change. I've been asking Spirit, why is that? And they said it's an artifact, a result of that coherent state that I go into to channel Sanaya. So that's what's going to happen here. I have no idea where they're going with this, but because I'm in a super coherent state, you can entrain to that, meaning just relax, be open, and allow my coherent state and their energy to help bring you into a more coherent state that stays with you. And healing often takes place when you naturally come into coherence. So that's a fringe benefit of being present when channeling's happening. Just a little background there. So, I catch my breath. There we go. So give me a moment here, and we invite Sanaya to step in fully now. Good afternoon, and it is still morning here in the state of Arizona, but it is afternoon where some of you are. And do you see how it matters not where you are around your world? You have what you call different time zones, and for some of you, it is evening, and yet to us, it matters not, for time is not a factor for us. And that is why you have certain what you call miracles that ensue, such as finding coins upon the ground or looking up and a butterfly is there just when you were thinking of a loved one who often sends you butterflies with divine timing. For you, the timing is important. For us, what is important is getting through to you the awareness you are so very loved. And we do that through vibration. All is vibration arising in patterns. And so what you experience are miracles, are merely patterns of consciousness that hold meaning for you. It is up to you to pause and notice the patterns. There are repeated patterns, such as you have already heard in this program, of themes and songs and words and signs that are recognizable. And this is the way the web of consciousness works, weaving together stories in such a way that you cannot deny, I am part of something so much greater. You, as a baby, knew this within you when you entered into this experience. You knew you were connected to something greater. This body dampened your awareness. And as the body grew and as the story lengthened through time, you began to forget your true essence as total connectedness. It is programs such as this, and it is you, dear ones, who followed that inner nudge to listen to a program such as this, even though it may seem strange to the human side of you to listen to messages such as this. But because you followed that nudge and you are on this spiral-like path of journeying ever onward, ever upward, as the beautiful soul you are, you cannot help but remember, yes, it is all about love, all about connection. And the more you let down your guard, you will come to know God as not a being, but beingness itself. And how could you not be a part of that? For you know the state of pure being. Here it is, here in a body for a while, at times with its aches and pains, but at times so completely open and unguarded that you know what you know. You are this. Here now, aware awareness being you with a name for a while, but we know you beyond a name. We know you as love in full expression. And this is why we end all of our messages with those important words for you to hear and know. You are so very loved. It can be no other way. Thank you for your time today. We are so enjoying being on this journey with you. And so it is. Wow. I did not expect to be channeling today. Thank you so much. Feeling the love, everybody. I hope you felt it. That's that connection. That's what draws me back into the silence every day and throughout the day, to find that place in me that doesn't change, that's beyond the story. It's there in you. When you can find it, that's where you'll find the guidance as well. It's great to be back with you live. Thank you all for all your love. Thank you for being part of this community. Wow. I'll see you back here next time. In the meantime, go out and have a great week. I love you all so much. Bye-bye.